Day 2 started early, with Dirk climbing up to the top third of a feeder gully and myself heading downriver about a kilometre to the main tributary before then turning back upriver to head into the wind. I was heading for broken river flats which I felt would give me the best opportunity with the bow, but before I reached the clearings I hit fresh sign and game trails that weave in and out of the thick dogwood and stands of hazel pomaderus, a common food source for sambar in winter. And in an attempt to reduce my noise I dropped into the creek when suddenly
bugger. That hind is 20 metres away and I just shot through a tiny bit of bracken. I saw the arrow deflect into the river. It was honking at me for a couple of minutes before I turned the GoPro on. It was not going to settle.
Disappointed, after another close encounter, I decided to climb up out of the river onto a terrace to a preach tree and sit off that for an hour to reflect and recalibrate. I simply could not afford to choke at such close opportunities.
I just wanted to reflect on after that encounter with the hind, which I just ballsed up, and I know why I ballsed it up. I was just under pressure because the hind was honking at me. It was looking straight at me. I was in a really awkward position. I didn't have a direct shooting lane in front of me, so I didn't take my gloves off. I choked the grip. Everything about it was just rushed under pressure. And I leant out on a really, really awkward angle, which I've not shot on before. And I could feel, and this is me living it after the fact, but I could feel that my anchor against my chin, the way in which I had my lat drawn back, didn't feel like I normally do when I can just stand up on big kneeling and draw. I couldn't do that unless I actually took 2 or 3 steps out into full plain view, but then I think that hind would have spooked. Anyway, I decided to have a go at 25 and let the arrow go. The arrow didn't fly. It got a little bit of a fishtail to it and it just deflected off. I mean, yesterday I had the opposite happen. The stag had no idea I was there. I put all the pressure on myself to get into range. I actually originally saw it, but I never ranged it, and it was 33 metres when I first saw it. I was on the other side of this really noisy creek, so then I dropped down, climbed up to the other side of the bank where the stag was, and it was 20 metres away, and I could see. I was getting ready to draw back, and when I was sitting down in amongst the scrub, must have broken a stick, and it heard that and decided something was up, looked straight down towards me, and I just couldn't draw back because I didn't have a direct line. I had to take it probably 2 steps again to the right to be able to shoot under a log. So the plan is the wind is still sinking and I'm going to push up a little spur and hope that the wind shifts in the next hour or so, and then look, I don't know if I'm going to sidle it out of gully heads with the bow. The bush is so thick I don't think it presents itself with a bow encounter, but I'll get up a bit higher and work out what I want to do. Tonight though, I want to come back down onto where there's some river flats or broken clearings and set up and be ready, because that gives me the greatest shooting lanes and I can glass and put in a stalk. Well, I've been up along this little spur waiting for the wind to change, and the wind is just starting to change now. I really don't like my chances trying to sneak in and put a shot. And all this bracken, shooting with an arrow has to go through a nice lane. So I'm going to make my way back down towards camp, and then I'll poke up into camp for lunch. Pretty fresh sign of them dropping down into the river.
Despite the lack of deer sightings, there was enough fresh sign to keep me interested for about 4 kilometres upriver from camp. But now that the thermals had shifted and the wind was blowing upriver, it was time to stalk the river flats back down towards camp.
See where they've been ripping. Been up on there, preaching right up as high as there, see? I can't reach that high. That must be 2 and a bit metres. 2.5 metres. You can see where it's stuck its antlers into. Raked its antler down the front of that tree. I have to say, this stuff here makes great toilet paper. I mean, the stuff's clean, but it's about to get dirty. For the first time this whole trip, I actually thought, you know what, I should have a look for a casting around the next preach tree that I find. And I've just been here for 20 seconds and I found this absolute thumper. It was right in underneath all this fern. I'll show you. It was like right in underneath all this, and there's 2. I've just found the second one. You gotta be joking me, I've just found 2 castings. Oh my gosh. Oh. To say I'm stoked would be an understatement. Because I guess the next closest thing to shooting your own stag is finding their cast antlers. And if I can't do one, then to do the others. Great. Yeah, it kind of looks like it could be the same animal, just slightly different antler configurations. Like brow tine on this side's, a bit lacking. This one's really good. And the tops on this one is better. And the inner tine on this one is not as good. And this antler feels a bit heavier in general. I don't know, what would your guess be? I'd say easy 26, maybe 27. I'll have to measure them at camp. Feels like a good head when I hold it like this. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine bow shooting a stag like this. That just almost wouldn't be right. I feel like I've got to earn. I couldn't even get it done on that small stag at 25 yesterday. And this morning had another balls up on that hind. So I don't think I'm deserving enough yet to get a nice stag like this with the bow.
Arriving back at camp around 2 PM, I grabbed a quick bite to eat, then headed off downriver while the wind was still coming upstream, and set up opposite an open face that spilled down into a reasonably open series of flats with plenty of food.
I'm eating some Go Native ready-to-eat meals. They're not dehydrated, so you don't have to worry about adding water. You can actually even eat them cold. And I'm actually eating this one cold now. It's chili con carne. The reason I'm eating it cold is because Dirk has taken only lighter that I had, or he's put it somewhere, I'm not sure. So I'm not using the gas cooker. But yeah, these Go Native meals are made in New Zealand, so they're very tasty. Just leaving camp for the evening hunt. So I've got about, it's not that far, probably 1 kilometre to to get down to the main river where I want to sit off of these flats, so it's a different direction to where I've hunted so far. I don't know where Dirk is. I've sent him an in-reach message to let him know what the plan is, so I might meet him there, or he might already be there.
As I neared the grassy river flats, the game trails and abundance of sign became more paramount. It was evident that the deer were accessing these flats, but I suspected it may have been at night time. I even contemplated a strategy to sit about 200 metres up out of the river flats in the thick bush on a gentle spur that spilled down onto the flats, but I was reluctant to trade off excellent glassing opportunities in doing so.
Got a bit of a crosswind at the moment, and I'm looking directly across into the other's face. It's about 80 metres where I'm just lying down, because I'm trying to minimise my scent getting blown all the way down across other river flats, and I'm not going to go cut those other river flats tonight. I'll save them for Dirk. Dirk's actually right up at the head of a gully above camp, so just sitting opposite face. It's about 4:15 and this face is still baked in the sun, and it's a north-west facing slope, so I'll get the sunlight to the end of the evening and the sun will kind of fade on up the slope. I'm just hoping that at the bottom of the face where there's a bit of grass, that's something that feeds out into the open.
Temperatures dropped as the shadows stretched into the late evening, and it was taking all of my willpower not to get up, move the body and stalk into new country on fading light. But, as they say, patience is a virtue apparently, and my goal was really to slow everything down.
I can see the sun's just starting to go over the tip of the hill here, so it's I reckon another 45 minutes and it will be dark, maybe an hour at most. It's when the animals start to get active.